I know from 40 years in Washington, it's not politically viable to make us the genocide policemen of the world. We're not claiming we have an obligation to prosecute every genocide. This is a U.S. citizen. U.S. citizen, we have an obligation to prevent our own citizens from perpetrating genocide, just like we expect other countries to do the same. My name is Bruce Fine. I'm the senior partner in Bruce Fine & Associates, as well as being counsel for the Tamils Against Genocide. We're here in Washington, D.C., a couple of blocks from the White House. Taxi? Taxi? So we are now on the way to the congressional office buildings. Rayburn Building. I'm going to approach and discuss sending the model genocide indictment, urging that a grand jury investigation commence. In this case, we have selected defendants who are either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, he was defense secretary, or still is, and Lieutenant General Sarath Fonseca, the head of the Army. If you're either military or civilian who holds the authority to direct or command subordinates and troops under you, then you are guilty for their crimes. Or after you knew the crimes had been committed, you did nothing to punish them. These consist of Air Force bombardments, daily disappearances, kidnappings, starvation, prohibiting use of medicines, constant displacements. All right, so this is the cover page. We have virtually more than 1,000 entries that we call incidents of genocide, and that's is what we have with regard to the command authority of Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Lieutenant General Sarath Fonseca. Well, there you're looking at the Congress of the United States. You'll see on the right-hand side is the House. I don't think that it's a party issue about indicting and prosecuting a U.S. citizen for genocide. I mean, that's not a Republican or Democratic issue. It's in our law. And I don't know anyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, otherwise, who's in favor of genocide by a U.S. citizen. And of course, I want to underscore, I'm a lawyer. We're not convicting anybody before there's a trial. I'm not suggesting that our genocide indictment is the actual proof. You've got to give the other side an opportunity to defend. After 9/11, this idea of terrorism became so dominant, it enabled many cynical governments to exploit it, to perpetrate genocide. Then I think the Sri Lankans, who were calling the conflict with the Tigers an ethnic conflict, then the vocabulary changed after 9/11. Now it becomes a terrorism conflict. The Sri Lankan government has imposed a media blackout. They don't want anyone to see. So they've ordered all the NGOs to leave. You can't go in if you're a reporter. We suspect that there are many people who haven't come forward and said, oh yes, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife was victim of an extrajudicial killing or torture. What can I do? Because, again, there has been such a fear factor for so long. And we are, in part, are hoping that the boldness in this presentation of the indictment will encourage people who are now frightened to talk into coming forth. We'd certainly be eager to trade dropping the indictments for some concessions in ending the violence and the war in Sri Lanka.